Good day, everyone. I am Hannah Jinji Gano-ay, a first-year BSED Math student from Northern Bukidnon State College. And today, our video is all about trigonometry, specifically the unit circle and the 6 trigonometric functions. But before that, the 3 learning objectives are: first, use correct mathematical notation and terminology. Second, define and draw a unit circle and identify the coordinates of trigonometric points of special angles. And third, identify the 6 trigonometric or circular functions and their value limits based on this unit circle. So for our first objective, here are some key notations and terminologies that we will be going to use in today's lesson. So first are the angle representation. So we can use degrees or radians to measure angles. For example, degrees was written in 90 and the degree sign, and for radians, we'll be writing pi over 2 to represent an angle. Next one was the trigonometric function. So there are 6 trigonometric functions. It is the sine, cosine, tangent, cosecant, secant, and the cotangent. Next is the coordinate notation. So in coordinate notation are the ordered pairs, the x and y axis. So ordered pairs represents points on the unit circle, which was later on we will be going to talk about. And lastly, the Greek letters. There are 2 Greek letters that we will be going to use in trigonometric functions. First is the sine theta. This was going to be written if you will be using theta. And for an alpha, this would be the sign that you will be writing. For example, sine theta equals 90 degrees. In this unit circle, 30 degrees was right there, 45 degrees, 60 degrees, 90 degrees, 120 degrees, 135 degrees, 150 degrees, 180 degrees, 210 degrees, 225 degrees, 240 degrees, 270 degrees, 300 degrees, 315 degrees, 330 degrees, and 360 degrees, with a total of a 1 unit circle. So we can measure an angle using radians. So the radians for 30 degrees was pi over 6, for 45 degrees, pi over 4, for 60 degrees, pi over 3, and for 90 degrees, pi over 2. For 120 degrees, 2 pi over 3. For 135 degrees, the radians was 3 pi over 4. For 150 degrees, 5 pi over 6. And for 180 degrees is a pi. For 210 degrees, it was 7 pi over 6. For 225 degrees, it was 5 pi over 4. And for 240 degrees, it was 4 pi over 3. And for 270 degrees, it was 3 pi over 2. And for 300 degrees, it was 5 pi over 3. For 315 degrees, it was 7 pi over 4. For 330 degrees, it was 11 pi over 6. And for 360 degrees was 2 pi. So the pi was equivalent to 180 degrees, which is a half unit circle. So if there is 2 half unit circle, it will be 2 pi or 360 degrees. For the x and y values of each angles, 30 degrees was equivalent to square root of 3 over 2 and pi which was right here, was only the x-axis will be going to be negative, as this was the x-axis and this was the positive y-axis. So for the 120 degrees, the ordered pairs are negative 1/2 and square root of 3 over 2. And for 135 degrees, the ordered pair was negative square root of 2 over 2 and negative square root 2 over 2. And for the 150 degrees, the ordered pair was negative 3 over 2, square root of 3 over 2 rather, and 1/2. And for 180 degrees was negative 1 over 0. So for the third quadrant, which was right here, the signs would be the x was negative and the y was also negative, as quadrant 3 relies on this area where the x was negative and also the y-axis was negative. So for 210 degrees, the ordered pair was negative square root of 3 over 2 and negative 1/2. For 225 degrees, it was negative square root of 2 over 2 and negative square root 2 over 2. And for the 240 degrees, the ordered pairs are negative 1/2 and negative square root 3 over 2. And for 270 degrees, it was written here that the ordered pairs are 0 and negative 1. For the last quadrant, or the quadrant 4, notice that the x-axis is in a positive area and the y-axis was in the negative area. So the x values will be going to be positive and the y-axis will be going to be a negative. So for 300 degrees, the ordered pairs are 1/2 and negative square root of 3 over 2. For 315 degrees, the ordered pairs are square root 2 over 2 and negative square root 2 over 2. And for 330 degrees, the ordered pairs are square root 3 over 2 and negative 1/2. And for 360 degrees, the ordered pair was 1 and 0. So now that we understand the unit circle, let's explore the 6 trigonometric functions. So trigonometry is built on 6 fundamental functions. First is the sine theta, or the y-coordinate of the unit circle, which was the opposite over hypotenuse. For cosine, it was the x-coordinate on the unit circle, or the adjacent over hypotenuse. For tangent, it was the ratio of sine to cosine. Sine to cosine. For the second, it is the reciprocal of cosine, or 1 over cosine theta. For the cosecant theta, it is the reciprocal of sine, or 1 over sine theta. And for the cotangent, it is the reciprocal of tangent, or 1 over tangent theta. For the domain and range of trigonometric functions, here's what all of us should remember. Sine theta and cosine theta have values between -1 and 1. For tangent theta and cotangent theta can be any real number but are undefined, where cosine or sine is 0. For the cosecant theta and secant theta have absolute values greater than or equal to 1. Absolute values, but never between -1 and 1. So now, we all learned about the values of a unit circle and the 6 trigonometric functions. Bye! See you all soon!